Okay, we are ready to build something. Let's go to source and we're going to add our new folder, components, like everybody does, a new folder. Call this DynaSelect. And inside of here, new file, dynaselect.tsx, and we'll say const dynaselect. Yep, we'll just make a basic component, export default, dynaselect, and we'll just return a div with an h1 dynaselect. Alright, let's go add that to our app. Alright. And now they're side by side, so we're going to add a flex column. And now they're up and down. So back in our DynaSelect, we got our main div. Okay, we're going to create another div. And inside of that, we're going to create a label. My label. And then inside of that, we're going to create another div. And we're going to go ahead and give it a class name equals relative. You'll see why in a minute. And we're going to put another div. Inside that div, we'll put an input type equals text. And then what we want also is like a, if we look at this, let's make this like BG black, text white. Okay, so we want like a little up and down, and then actually at the end of this div, I think right here we want to div my list. Okay, and everything's up and down because we put flex column on the parent. So we'll need to make sure we adjust that here, so that if we went over here and took this flex column off, it wouldn't mess it all up. So we'll get to that. So we want a little chevron icon right in here. So if we do chevron up, down, there we go. We'll go to this SVG repo, and we'll look for chevron up, down. That one's beautiful. We'll download this, and we'll go to source, new folder, SVGs, and a new file, chevron up, down.tsx, const chevron up, down, export default, chevron up, down. And here we're just going to open up that icon in Notepad, and we're going to grab the SVG and we're going to paste it in here. And what we'll do is we'll make this like 20 pixels tall and 20 pixels tall, and the rest of that should be okay. What we do want to do is add an interface. We'll just call it props and give it a class name that's a string, and we'll make it optional, and we'll say class name props, and then we'll add that right here. We can give it a bit more style if we need to. Black will be fine. So now if we're underneath this input right here and we put another div with our chevron up, down, go back to our page over here. Okay, he's black and he's right here. You can't really see him. But if now we come into the div that's containing him And we give it a class name of absolute. And we'll say top 0, right 0. We need to make that a capital M, capital N. Okay, he's in there, so let's give him a top of 1. Okay, so now we have our thing, but he's not really doing any kind of a focus. So let's go to class name here. Cursor, pointer. And now we get a nice little div here. And label, we can say HTML4 equals search. And our input, we can give him a name of equal to search. And let me check my cheat sheet and see. Well, I think there is some more things we need to do. We need to say this is going to have a class name, flex and flex column, and we'll give it a margin top of, say, 2. And we give it the flex and the flex column in case we took off the flex column out of here. And then, whoops. Just take this off here. And they don't look so good. Let me undo these. Okay, flex column. And we need to put our BG black back on here. Okay. So, yeah, the other thing, our label, we can do a class name. Text small, font medium, and a margin bottom of, say, 2. So we have our little bitty label in there. That's perfect. We're going to add one more thing here. We're going to say auto complete equals off. I think that has to be a capital C. Yes, it does. And then the only thing, we're going to add a class name to our input so that it looks a little bit better. So we're going to say flex width full flex 1. So it takes up everything else, rounded, LG, focus border 2. Focus border. We'll make this purple 400. Normally I use a themed color in here, but I'm just going to stick a color in here. And focus ring 0. So now he looks a little bit better. And that's going to be it for this video. I think that's all that we need. We could, on our chevron, we could say px2, give it a little bit, and then maybe make this back to top 0. Can I do 1.5? No. And yeah, that should wrap this one up.